Hello, my lovely watchers, and welcome to Night 2 of the Royal Romance Book 1 from Choices the Game. For those of you who weren't with me last time, we are playing as Kira, a New York City waitress who just so happened to serve the bachelor party of Prince Shamar of Cordonia, who was having a bachelor party even though he didn't even know who he's marrying because his country chooses his bride bachelorette style because this is a responsible way to choose the actual leader of a country and not just a figurehead of a constitutional monarchy. Celebrity politicians, they always go well. So we are now up to chapter 3, where we have traveled to Cordonia on 1 hour's notice. Oh, hi, RKD. Welcome. Yeah, it's obviously a great way to choose leader of a country. So on an hour's notice, we dropped our entire lives and flew to Cordonia, and very jet lagged, we are now at a royal ball. After we've now met our BFF character, our rival, and our asshole third wheel. Speaking of our asshole third wheel, if you want to play the drinking game along with me, the rules are right under the viewing window here. I myself have an inebriating beverage that's going to make this a lot more fun in about half an hour. So, with that, let's get started with Chapter 3 of the Royal Romance Book 1. The teaser says you come face to face with the prince again. Meanwhile, your competition gets restless. So, and let me know how the volume is with the music. This should work fine. Looks like. Okay. Yeah, it's only going to be about half an hour before this gets really good. So, Chapter 3, Reunited. The music and the graphics in here I actually really do like, so I apologize for the crappy audio quality on the music. I am on a Mac, and in order to get desktop audio to play and even to get this to mirror is a nightmare, so we're using external speakers. Sorry. So it is the night of the masquerade on at the palace. Oh, hi, Piscopoli. So my rule on using diamonds is I think I've actually pretty much bought all of them in the Royal Romance Book 1, at least the ones that I want to spend. Now, like, a good 80% of the outfits you don't need, so I don't buy them. The only time I bought an outfit was, one, when I was a sucker, or two, if it said it was going to unlock a special scene. Those ones I did buy, but if it's just giving you relationship points with somebody, I didn't bother. This is not a super high strategy game, unlike some of the other games. We may play one of the high strategy games at some point if I ever get over my broken heart. So, but yeah, the rule on using diamonds was if it unlocks a special scene, then I would do it. Oh, that kind of special scene too. Yes, indeed. Those do exist. This is rated T for teens, so they can't get too graphic with their depictions, but it is very well written for being a game and what it has to be very short and sweet. So, yeah. But those will come later. We actually have to develop relationships with people before we can get freaky with them. So let's try to develop one of those relationships, shall we? So it's the night of the masquerade at the palace. You've just spotted Prince Shamar across the ballroom. By the way, Prince Shamar is my name, not their name. You're gonna see why in a second if you guys have like an internal picture of what Shamar Moore looks like. Yes, yeah, I agree. Usernames, the diamonds are basically only worth it if they give you a special scene. So we've just spotted Prince Shamar across the ballroom, standing alongside the King of Cordonia. Wait for this. This is gonna be good. I guess this is it. I'm going to talk to him. We served him like hamburgers and beer, and now we're nervous about talking to this dude? Okay, sure. We kidnapped him and took him to the Statue of Liberty, and we're nervous about talking to this dude? Okay, I guess it's technically not kidnapping if he consented, but we kidnapped him and took him to the Statue of Liberty and ditched all his friends in chapter 1. So yes, a masquerade for which I did not buy a costume, and so my masquerade is, hi, my costume is I'm an American. Wherever the hell Cordonia is, I think we established it's in Western Europe somewhere. So Maxwell, who is our sponsor, who out of the goodness of his own heart, because he has no sisters, is putting us in the competition, says, great, looks like they're ready for you. I cannot really do male voices, so you're going to find this out really quickly. Now, I'm going to present you to King Constantine first. King Constantine and Prince Shamar, y'all, I did this. I did not choose King Constantine. This is somebody in the modern era named their child Constantine. You'll want to make a good first impression on him so he'll consider you a worthy match. Now, in chapter 2, if any of you have watched the VODs or were with us last time, you'll recall that our rival Olivia, who very clearly has our best interests at heart, and we have no reason to doubt her apart from like her completely asshole-ish attitude, told us that we should kiss his shoe. That is what he does sound like a Donkey Kong character. That is what we've been told to do to make a good first impression. Now, remember, our girl is a New York City waitress. I am giving her an education in political science and or international law because I cannot stomach the idea of a celebrity politician being chosen this way. So we're relatively smart and savvy. Do we really believe we should kiss the king's shoe when we meet him? Let's find out. Oh, you'll consider it's considered a worthy match for his son, in case there was any confusion as to whom we're courting right now. Far as we know, he doesn't have any daughters, so Then you'll get your big chance to talk to Shamar. Okay, I've got it. Make a good impression on the father-in-law, don't screw up. Cool. Maxwell steers you over to the king, who's seated on a raised dais. Your Royal Highness, may I present Lady Kira Roth. Yes, we get to use the title of lady because we're being sponsored by a noble house, so this is cool. Of course. Now, please mind, if you will, King Constantine's race. You have a choice of 4 different princes from 4 different races, and yet they don't change the ethnicity of the king. They've got one hell of a workaround for this. Oh, RKD, there's the opportunity for lesbian action, just not with a king's daughter. She'd be nobility. And one of them's an asshole, so we're not going to go near her. He does look like Mitt Romney. Exactly. They really should, if you can store, like, what are there, like 5 different ethnicities for the player character, and then there's 4 different ethnicities for the prince character, you really should be able to store at least the king and his the prince's brother. I can see not storing the mother for reason, or the queen for reasons that they'll show, and are the reasons that they're using to work around why the prince's ethnicity might be different. For the prince there might be only 3 because there's white guy, East Asian guy, and black guy. I think you're right. I think you're right, username. I think there are only 3. But I know there's more than that for the player character, because I think we get 2 different, like, ethnically ambiguous in there. Brown, that one is clearly Latina and one is clearly some kind of mixed race. But yes, King Constantine is happy to see us, apparently. He looks so thrilled. The king looks expectantly at you. Is he waiting for us to kiss his shoe? Olivia did tell me to kiss his shoe, and I want to impress him. Remember, Olivia, who clearly has our best interests at heart. I should, so we can kiss the king's ring, kiss the king's shoe, or ignore Olivia's advice and curtsy. Y'all, we're is the game affected by convenient dead mom syndrome? You'll find out, Piscopoli. So remember, we're getting a degree in international law. You know, we've presumably been through some American high school, or we're hi, Banmox. My mom is dead. Yeah, it's there's I would like to think that even if we haven't been through American high school, that we've at least seen movies at some point in our history. We've got to be a little genre savvy here, guys. You got to be a little genre savvy, y'all. So we are going to ignore Olivia's advice and curtsy like normal people. You drop into a low curtsy. Your Highness. It's a pleasure to meet the suitor Lord Maxwell's house has chosen. Lord Maxwell. Chapter 1, please remember, Maxwell looked at a New York City shoreline at nighttime and said, "Skinny dipping." Lord Maxwell, y'all. Okay. I hope you enjoy your time in Cordonia. He does, like, I like how they smile, but their jaw doesn't move, and so their mouth just gets too big for their face. It's great. So we have impressed the king. I guess kissing his shoe was the wrong idea. Did Olivia lie to us? I can't imagine. Thank you. Maxwell escorts you away, and you fall in line behind some ladies waiting to see the prince. Lord Maxwell, huh? Why are we surprised? That's the counterpart of lady. We're getting into green international law, Kira. Come on. That's my title. You could refer to me as his lordship from now on if you really want. I know, our rival would never lie. It would be so dishonest. I like you better as a Maxwell. Okay. All right, Kira. Sure. Now, look sharp. You see the line has shortened, and you're nearly in front of... Who could it be? It's Shamar! Everybody guess why I named him Shamar! Because I'm not creative! I also didn't know the king's name was going to be Constantine, y'all. Of all things, Constantine. Constantine. Here's your big moment. Don't blow it. Well, we managed not to kiss the king's shoe, so... I know! They look so much alike, you can see the familial resemblance, can't you, username? Okay, I won't. We already managed not to, like, kiss somebody's shoe, so I feel like we're doing well. Almost like twins. I'll bet you if you looked at baby pictures of Constantine and Shamar side by side, the only way you'd tell the difference is that Constantine's are in black and white. Oh, hi, Doc! I was gonna go the whole damn time without having any clue who you were, so hi, Doc. Welcome. Welcome to also, like, a bunch of my other crazy friends, whom you're now going to meet in chat. Maxwell steps aside. You take a deep breath and step forward, alone. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? It's you! Oh, he's happy! Yay! Kira, I thought I'd never see you again. Well, it tends to happen when you leave me in New York. So, this is a good surprise, I hope? The best. Oh, ooh, Remember, we got some romance points with him last time for kidnapping him, putting him on a boat, and then kissing him. Because you always, always kiss the prince. I don't know, RKD. Banmox was in the chat earlier, so if your internet hasn't crapped out, you two may need to have a dance-off in the chat. And you guys, you all can figure out how to do that, because if I had bits to throw, I would throw my own bits at you. It's kind of it's supposed to be like a smoldering neutral expression, like, I am so hot. Kind of resting bitch face a little bit, but that's more like resting boy face, resting boyfriend face. Resting bitch face we'll get to. Yeah, but how did you get here? On a plane, Shamar. No, you know what? I actually walked across the ocean. That's what I did. I walked across the ocean because the strength of our love allowed me to just like walk, and like the waves weren't a problem. You know, they'd all just kind of flatten out as I got to them. God, I would be kicked out of this ball in a hot minute, but you know what? They'd have stories to tell. All right, how did we get here? Well, I don't know. Maxwell and his brother are sponsoring me. He's brought me here to join the other suitors. I like how they say suitors, though, and didn't try to find, like, a feminine version of that, because I don't even know what you do, and it would be stupid to do it. Really? That's amazing. I can't believe you came all this way for me. Well, neither can I, Shamar, but we're here. Shamar, so we have the option of saying, I know we have something special. I want to see what it can be. That seems pushy. Any advice for me? It's kind of neutral. Or should we just send these other girls home now? So here's the thing. I'm Ace. Kira is not. Really, my dude, you're a prince. Why indeed am I here? I can't imagine. Like... Do I have ulterior motives? I mean, I can. Send them home now. Here's the thing. I am Ace. Kira in this is so very clearly not. So clearly not. Like, you can be a total chav in this game. You really can. And it's really kind of hilarious. But remember, we're at what is basically a political function. There's going to be press here. There's going to be members of the court here. Some of these are the ones who actually determine whether or not you get to be queen. Shamar doesn't have the final say. You know, the council basically tells him, based on what they've seen, who the options are. The king and queen tell him, and then he kind of gets to pick from that. Yeah, that'd be me. I'm kind of here for the food, so like I heard Cordonian apples were good, so yeah, that's what I'm here for. So Kira, you know, should we just send these other girls home now? I'm going to count that as kissing is an option, so take a drink. Oh, the party's getting started now. Okay, all right. So Kira, honey, be a good person. Any advice for me? Don't let the other ladies intimidate you. Most of them are actually very nice, but they can be competitive. Oh, diplomatic answer. See, we're learning. We're learning. It's good. It's good. Yes. And some of them can be very nice. Hana is very, very nice. RKD, will you stop trying to whore me out on Twitch? There will be sexy times in later ones, because if it's actually an explicit option to kiss the prince, I actually do have a rule that you always kiss the prince if it's an explicit option, and it will literally say kiss Shamar. So if you say that really fast, I guess that could sound really weird, but competitive. Exactly. But you can't really blame them. That's the whole reason for this, after all. This completely irresponsible and illogical way to choose a queen. A ruling monarch who's going to have say in, like, whether or not we go to war at some point. This, by the way, was, of course, written prior to the election in the United States, and I promise you... Oh, okay. I didn't know whether I should use your name or not. It's So I promise you, if by that time I was Queen of Cordonia with certain decisions, ooh, there'd be some tariffs slapped. There'd be some tariffing happening. All right. This entire series of events is set up not just to give me time with my potential matches, harem, but also to give my parents, the council, and the people of Cordonia time to get to know the future queen. Because this is always a good idea. Let them get to know their future queen. That always ends well. From now on, everyone will be watching you. Awesome! So I'm not gonna go a day without reporters trying to, like, get a picture of me getting into the shower. That's so cool. I'm so glad I did this. That sounds... Will this end like American Idol? It ends some kind of way. There's two more books after this. The third one is in the process of coming out. The people of Cordonia like texting their votes. There are phones involved. I'll say that, Risa. There are phones involved. That's So that sounds scary, fun, or like reality TV. There's no part of this sounds fun. Honestly, like no part of this sounds fun. So we're gonna axe that answer. Like reality TV is true, but not necessarily that diplomatic of an answer. You're kind of insulting your host country's, government processes, which I get to do because I'm the narrator. Kira does not get to do that because she actually has to live in that world. So we're going to be honest. We're going to say exactly what we said to Maxwell in the first place. and we're going to say that sounds scary as somewhere in the distance the police starts playing. I'm sorry, I can't make it easier for you. Look at this pouty face that he's got, y'all. Look at that. Look at that right there. But for what it's worth, you definitely look the part. In my plain-ass blue dress that is the one I packed from New York City, that is probably, honest to God, a bridesmaid's dress that I wore at some point. It's a nice bridesmaid's dress. This was one of those weddings where the bride was just like, buy a blue dress. And yes, I do have ads pop up because I cannot afford to pay for Vimeo or Visor without the ads. If you want to help change that, you can donate to my Ko-fi. Yeah, we look the part. Overthinking this, I know, Doc asks, but hypothetically, what would happen if the prince was gay? Could there be two kings, or would they force him to marry a woman? So I actually did look this up, because in the wake of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's royal wedding, I know the Harry Potter playthrough is going to be so great. In the wake of the royal wedding, I did ask myself this question. And the running theory, because of course this hasn't happened with a reigning monarch yet, I think there is a European royal family where one of the members is gay and in a same-sex relationship. I'm not sure that they're getting married, and I'm not sure they're in line for the throne. But the running theory was that if that did happen, then probably, depending on the country and the royal family, it would probably be allowed. And what they would probably do is call, the one who came from the royal family king. And yeah, it could either be duke if you're in Britain. They could stay as duke, or possibly be called king consort or prince consort, the way that, because Queen Elizabeth's husband is Prince Consort Philip. They chose not to call him king, even though, like, technically you could create the title of king consort, but it could potentially be confusing because pretty much everybody associates king with being higher than queen. And then if you have two kings, which one's which, you would have to constantly be careful to call the other one king consort. So they may keep that as a duke or a duchess, or they may just go whole hog and be a king consort. So yeah, okay. Boyfriend from the UK says would be called a prince. So yeah, at least that's the way it works in the British royal family, and probably for the rest of Western Europe would be my guess. But yeah, I'm down for the title of king consort becoming a thing, and us just figuring out that, hey, king isn't always the top of the barrel, y'all. I mean, which one's the more powerful piece in chess? Oh yeah, not the king. Yeah, we look the part in our bridesmaid's dress. Thanks. It's not even that flattering. This is, like, they make some really nice and flattering outfits for her, and this one just, like, does nothing. We got a relationship point with him. He liked that. I'm sure you'll charm them just as much as you've charmed me. Okay. Yeah, I can't kidnap them all and put them on a boat because I'm calling in a favor from a friend because of the ramen noodle incident, and yes, that is what they called it. The tutorial tells us that certain choices will boost your relationship with the prince. Shamar already likes you because of your time in New York, but will you fall in love? The choice is yours. Okay. Unfortunately, the receiving line isn't the best place to talk. We only have a few more minutes before the next lady arrives. Well, for some guys, that's all you need. In that case, I want to know, you can say, how are you holding up? What do you think of all this? Or are you glad I came? Are you glad I came is a very natural question to ask, but it's also very selfish. Remember, we're trying to teach Kira to be a good person here, so ask him about himself. So what do you think of all this, or how are you holding up? Again, what do you think of all this is a little bit judgy. Should the choice is yours should be a drinking game rule. Honestly, it probably should. It comes up every time early on. I think we've gotten through all the choices yours is now, maybe? But anyway, drink for that. And drink for what do you think of all this? We are questioning their governmental processes and being a little judgy. Okay, so in that case, I want to know, how are you holding up? At a time like this, you're asking about me? I'm being calculating, Shamar, okay? Presumably I took a psychology class at some point. That means a lot to me, really. Either that or I've been in some serious therapy at some point. This is also possible. This whole thing, it's a lot of pressure, but I knew what I was getting into, which is probably the answer he would have given us for what do you think of all this? So just bought us a couple extra lines. The princes of Cordonia can only have so much say over who they marry, and I understand why. It doesn't make it easier, but it's what I was raised for. And we go through this process of vetting someone, and then we bring in someone with no qualifications, and she's just allowed into the competition. So, like, we're saying that we understand why the process is what it is, presumably because you have to be careful about who you put in a position of power, but I'm fair game because, like, this doesn't make sense, y'all. I know, everyone is, like, so freaking mean to the prince in his life. No one ever asks how he's doing, no one wants to take him to do stuff he wants to do at his own damn bachelor party. What do they do? Like, God. Like, even his own friends. I can get, you could argue that, like, King Constantine is very distant because he's royalty and, they're all buttoned up, like, British style. Okay, fine, but, like, his friends, y'all. We're gonna find out one of them is an American at one point. And at that point, there are no more excuses. You're American, okay? We don't do buttoned up. There are no buttons in America. We have snaps, okay? Because we don't have time for buttons. This is a lie. We have buttons everywhere. But my point is, they're horrible to this man. Doc is absolutely right. They're horrible. Okay. It doesn't make it easier, but it's what I was raised for. Again, there's some inconsistency here. Just then, the next noble lady approaches. A lot of emotionally stunted Americans, it's true, but, like, there's not that, like, we never show affection BS, or, like, not listening to your friends. Like, we get yelled at for that, instead of just silently judged in a bowler hat. Sorry, our time is up. You frickin' prince, you say when the time is up. I'm just saying. I understand. We really aren't in New York anymore, are we? What clued you in, Kira? No. I hope I'll see you again later tonight, if you'll save a dance for me. Sure. What kind of dancing are we doing? Because, we might be in some trouble. Remember, I'm from New York. Don't do, like, foxtrots and shit. Maxwell joins you as you walk away from the prince. Shamar looked really happy to see you. Did he? Because he frowned a lot. So, I don't know how you're taking this, Maxwell. Yeah, but is that gonna be enough? I also have to impress the royal court and the people of Cordonia. Don't worry, you'll have plenty of time for that. Okay. And my brother Bertie, and I will be there to help you every step of the way. Like kidnapping you from your home on an hour's notice and putting you on a plane without a visa. Yeah, help. Remember, we want you to win this thing. It's because Shamar is basically a doormat. Yes, he is. He is such a doormat, and that's not a good quality in a ruler. Actually, this is not shaping up well for Cordonia. We're literally going to have to save the day, and that's wrong. But remember, it's gonna be a lot of singing later. Yeah, we want you to win this thing. Right. For now, it'd be a good start to get to know the other courtly ladies. Courtly ladies. They're your competition, but you might be able to make some of them your allies. Bertrand and I are helpful. Yes, I'm going to say his name like that every single time. Bertrand and I are helpful, but the more people you can get on your side, the better. I'm on it. Let's make friends with snobby women. Cool. Waving at Maxwell, you walk outside and join Olivia, Hana, and the other noble ladies as they get drinks from an ornate table display. Is this a display of tables, or is this a display on a table? I'm confused. Olivia, who still hasn't figured out that that purple does not go with her red hair, says, Kira, you were awfully familiar with the prince. You didn't say that you knew him. Olivia, so we have, I've met the prince once before. It's none of your business. The one with the red hair is a witch. She doesn't use magic in The Crown and the Flame, but it's possible. Or can we go back to how you lied to me about kissing the king's shoe? Okay, first of all, Kira, we're not surprised that she lied. Okay, no one is surprised. There's no surprise there. I would like to say that's judgy and take a drink. However, I feel like it's justified. Yeah, take a drink anyway. Okay, so it's none of your business. Remember, we're kind of trying to make friends a little bit, even though you've got a hell of an uphill battle with Olivia. But there's other women around, and we don't want to put them off if they happen to be on good terms with Olivia. So we're going to tell the truth and say, I've met the prince once before. I can't imagine when a girl like you would have met the prince. I met him at his bachelorette, or at his bachelorette party. Let's just say it was Once Upon a Time. That was the name of the first chapter, was Once Upon a Time. See, the thing is, when you say that, then my brain goes to Storybrooke. And this story would look very different in Maine. Mm-hmm. It sounds like you're hiding something. I don't like secrets. That's nice, Olivia, no one cares. And I don't like you. Olivia doesn't like us? Dear lovely watchers, I am shocked that Olivia doesn't like us. We had no clue. There was nothing to warn us that Olivia might not like us. I'm distraught. I'm bereft even. Listen, you should know that whatever, by the way, this is supposed to be her angry. That's why there's the red, but you actually can't like see her eyebrows. So to me, she looks sad right now. The prince might have a Twitter. I assume they have a Wi-Fi connection in Cordonia. One would hope, wouldn't one, Piscatoli? Listen, you should know that whatever happened between you and Shamar, you don't really have a chance with him. Okay, bitch. You might have been able to capture his attention when it was just the two of you, but you can't keep up with the ladies here. Hey, it was not just the two of us at first, okay? Like, Drake and Maxwell and Tariq were all there, so, like, you know, they're all reasonably attractive guys. I feel like I shaped up. Our coworker Daniel was there for a few minutes. Daniel is very clearly not entirely cishet. So, you know what? No, Olivia, I can keep up. Because you know what? I kept up with them. So, shut up. We're from the finest families in Europe, and we've been training and preparing our whole lives to marry a prince. You can't just waltz in here at the last minute and steal him from us. Joke's on you, Olivia. I don't know how to waltz. We learned this later. there should be like an 80s actually, I take that back. There is an 80s training montage basically at one point. Yeah, I forget which chapter it's in, but yeah, that's going to happen. Kiara here is the daughter of a diplomat and is fluent in 10 languages. Holy shit! Does Kiara do anything other than learn languages? Because oh my god. Okay, now you all get to hear my horrible, horrible French. Le prince va tomber amoureux de moi. Which I can basically guess what that says, because I don't speak French very well at all, as you just heard. So yeah. The prince doesn't want to marry C-3PO, come on. I have fluent in over 6 million forms of communication. But the question is, does she speak Bachi, Doc? We never get the answer, at least not in book 1, and I'm so sad. Penelope here can track her lineage back through 600 years of royalty. That's nice. Inbreeding much? It's an honor to represent my people here. Penelope is hilarious to me, so yeah. Kiara has a part-time job as a flight attendant, apparently. Probably. Even Hana's been training to learn the courtly graces of conversation and seduction. Hey, you know what, Olivia? You back the hell off, okay? Hana is a very nice girl, all right? Her cousin is not her dad. And you know what? You back off of Hana, okay? If I was gonna pick somebody other than Shamar in this game, I personally would pick Hana. But thanks. Remember, we walked in on her in her underwear in chapter 2 and had the option of telling her she was gorgeous, which is highly inappropriate for someone you don't know and you just walked in on in her underwear. But yeah, no, Hana, you don't listen to her. Olivia's just mean, okay? No, Hana, you're a very lovely lady. But if anyone's got the inside track with Prince Shamar, it's you, Olivia. You've known him his entire life. Oh, good childhood friend. So Rissa's rooting for Hana. I don't blame you. Hana's very sweet. It's true. We grew up at the palace together as childhood friends. Before his older brother abdicated, guess what race his older brother is? Ah. The first 2 don't count. It was just assumed Shamar and I would be married one day. I've got no intention of losing him to one of you harpies. Fuck you, Olivia. Fuck you. Oh, by the way, Rival has been sneering like this entire damn time, so take a gulp. Told y'all. Half hour, 40 minutes. Yep, it's getting good. I swear she was going to say his brother was assassinated. Yeah, surprisingly, they did not go that route. They wanted him there later. I don't know if he has a larger role in book 2 than he did in book 1. But yeah, surprisingly, he was not assassinated. There are assassinations in this, but they're in the past. No offense. Oh, fuck off, Olivia. You can't just insult people and then say no offense and get away with it. See, now I'm starting to think there is no Twitter in Cordonia, because I feel like this would be known. Like, God. He can fake his death. I'd fake my death if it meant going through this process to find my queen. Like, this is... things are starting to make sense for like, why his brother was like, no, fuck off with that shit. Wait a second. I can't believe... So... That Shamar would be friends with you is judgy. Correct, but judgy. Take a drink. No offense. Or the rest of you let Olivia talk like this. Can't believe that Shamar would be friends with you. That's not gonna buy you anything. But, to be perfectly honest, I can't believe the rest of you let Olivia talk like this. She's only stating the facts. There's no point in being emotional about it. Penelope, honey, we got work to do with you, don't we? Okay. We all knew what we were getting ourselves into when we came here, Kira, didn't you? No, I had an hour's notice and then my ass was on a plane with no visa. Where's gay Twitter dragging Olivia's mask choice? I really hope that somewhere on gay Twitter this is happening, because it needs to. The graphics in these games are very good, very pretty, but once in a while, it falls kind of flat. Don't worry, ladies. I'm sure little Kira will learn her place here eventually. Fuck off, Olivia. Take a drink. Sneering at me. I'm being trafficked. Very seriously, Kira was probably trafficked, because, oh my god, no part of getting her to Cordonia could have been legal. I swear to god. Or else I'll make her life a living hell. Joke's on you, I've already lost my job, probably losing my apartment soon because I can't pay the rent from Cordonia with no income, and I'm in a foreign country, on another continent, competing to be married to a prince and rule a country. My life is already a living hell, and it's going to do nothing but get worse. Okay, Olivia. And what exactly do you think is my place here? Guess. Oh, somewhere below Penelope and Kiara, but you know what? Probably above Hana. You know what? Fuck you, Olivia. Hana can be a top if she wants to. That's her decision. That's between her and her partner. You bitch. Though, I'm surprised Hana's here at all after what I heard about her last attempt at an engagement. Whoa. Oh, honey. Oh. See, here's the difference between Kira and Ace. Ace would punch this bitch at about this point. And thank God this random European country speaks English, or we'd be really boned. Well, it's Western Europe. By the look of the graphics that they showed us when we landed, it's Mediterranean. Kind of looks like Prince Eric's kingdom in The Little Mermaid. So yeah, it's pretty. He too was assassinated. Plot twist: Hannah's an international assassin. Which, honestly, with some of the stuff we learn about her later, I wouldn't be surprised. She could pull it off. I'm sure. But yeah, Olivia, go jump off a balcony. Olivia! Well, we all know that your family will throw you at any available bachelor as long as it means you can climb another rung on the social ladder. Who wouldn't throw their eligible daughter at a prince? You're acting like this is a bad thing. I hope we get to fight a magic sea witch, Olivia. Well, I seem to remember one of our viewers wanted to infect Olivia with dysentery at one point. So, yeah. But honestly, it's a bit much to accept that Prince Shamar is going to accept damaged goods. Olivia would not have her front teeth at about this point. At the very least, she would have a very bloody nose. Olivia, isn't this literally what everyone there is doing? Yes, it is. Yeah, I can't go the long and slow and potentially dangerous route of an Oregon Trail crossover and give her dysentery. I, Ace, would need to punch her in the face. Or at the very least scream so loudly that the guards come running. Because, yeah, just, You know what, Hannah's like my only friend here right now. You back the hell off of Hannah. She's a very sweet girl, okay? She's not damaged goods, bitch. I don't care what happened. Damaged goods is not a thing. You see Hannah's face turn bright red. I need to. Excuse me. Hannah pushes past everyone, but you catch her right before she goes inside. Ooh, this might be a diamond choice that I can't buy. God damn it. Let's find out. Hannah, wait. We have, I'll go with you, or you don't have to listen to them. You don't have to listen to them is stupid. Of course she has to listen to them. They're her competition. It's so much harder to trace dysentery back to you. Olivia's face would have the perfect imprint of your fist. It would actually have the perfect imprint of the heel of my hand, because I don't punch with a closed fist, because I respect my wrist and the bones of my hand. So it might be harder to trace the heel of a hand as opposed to like my knuckles and whatever distinguishing jewelry I'm wearing. But you're right, dysentery is harder to trace. It's also harder to control. That's the other problem. What if I infect Hannah? I can't. It's going to be really hard for me to accidentally punch Hannah, because I can literally just say, Hannah, move, and then punch Olivia. You know, unless Olivia like wants to grab Hannah and pull her in front of her, which I can see Olivia do. Yes, this has been your self-defense lesson. I've been drinking. So overthrow the entire court in a bloody coup d'etat. You know, it's not outside the realm of possibility. So let's be good people. Don't punch with your fist, kids. You'll break your wrist. You could break your wrist. You're more likely to break the bones in your hand, actually, especially if you're punching somebody in the head, because the entire skull area is very, very solid, because it's made to protect your brain. Okay, all right. Hannah, wait, I'll go with you. We're going to be a good friend. I'll go with you. That's awfully sweet, but I'll be fine. She shakes her head and walks through the doors to the palace. You turn to Olivia. Girls like her shouldn't bother being here if they can't handle the truth. Fuck you. Fuck you. She's sneering. Take a drink. She's sneering at someone else's expense, which if we had shot rules, I would actually say that Olivia bringing up people's painful pasts is a shot rule, but we don't have those. But yeah. Olivia, we can say you're acting like a child, not a queen, or we can say you're a real bitch. Neither one of these are lies. There is no lie. Your fashion designer couldn't handle the truth. Oh god. Yeah, let's start with that mask, Olivia, and work down, because we got some work to do there, honey. I know. Okay, if this was Ace, okay, the words out of my mouth would be, you're a real bitch. Remember, though, we're trying to teach Kira to be a good person. Kind of. Sort of. I'm not going to say you're a real bitch is judgy, because it's really not. It's the truth, but what's also the truth is you're acting like a child, not a queen. If this is how you behave, I wouldn't trust you with childproof scissors, let alone a kingdom. Snap. Girl. That's how you do it. Money for nothing and the chicks for free. You can't! Oh, but I can? And I did. You shut Olivia up for now. I just did. If you'll excuse me, and I am 4 diamonds short to go after Hannah, and I feel really bad because I actually thought I had bought all of these and I didn't. Okay, well, we can't go after Hannah as much as we might want to, but we are going to enjoy my drink inside alone. Bitch. I know, poor Hannah. We'll make it up to her. We will. Suit yourself. Hannah's probably gone to the champagne table and is like drinking through an entire tray. She'll be okay. You march away from the ladies and head back inside the ballroom, fuming. I can't believe the nerve of Olivia. Can't you? She told you to kiss the king's shoe. Are we really that surprised? And I hope Hannah's okay. She will be. I know. Poor Hannah. It's okay, girl. We'll get you. It'll be okay. You glance around, but don't see Hana anywhere. Instead, Maxwell pops into your line of vision. Lord Maxwell of the skinny dipping. There you are. You look upset. Yeah, this bitch just insulted my one friend here, and now I can't find my friend. So, like, yeah, I'm a little upset, Maxwell. That's a word for it. Well, no time to brood. The last dance is starting up, and I think you and Shamar deserve this one. You know what? No, let's go find Hana, and the three of us dance together, and fuck Olivia. Except don't fuck her because she doesn't deserve my fucks. Okay, judging from how forward Kira is, she's probably pretty good at it. As the opening strains of a waltz start up, you turn to see Shamar talking to Penelope. And of course, you're looking dashing tonight. It might be a little rude to cut in, but why would it be rude to cut in? Okay, everybody else cuts in on us all the time. You know, it's not that rude. Say no more. I know what to do. Oh god, are we gonna spill a drink on Penelope? Not Penelope. Penelope's harmless. Will Shamar save you the last dance? Find out in the next chapter. Okay, so before we start chapter 4, I am going to take a short break, and hopefully OBS won't crash on me this time like it did last week. But, yeah, get up, stretch your legs, refill your drink. Yeah, nobody other than Olivia and Hana are wearing masks, and I assume this is because they are side characters who were so unimportant that they didn't even bother to design anything else for them. I'm not even 100% sure we see them in other dresses. So that could be why. But yeah, everybody like looks at us for not having a mask, and then, you know, no one else has a mask, so whatever. But yeah, refresh your drink, stretch your legs, whatever y'all need to do,